We got the company. What is up, team? As you would have just seen, we got the company. Woo! So as you might remember from the last video, I went and saw the accountant and we applied to have the company set up, and all of that went smoothly, but there's a period that you've then got to wait to make sure the government approves it and that there's no one else with that name or anyone else trying to do the same sort of thing as you. So that's now gone fully through and we've got all of our details and our really important company number. So all of that is done. We are now set to go. Just so you guys can understand it better, this one that I've now set up is like my overarching company. It's what I use to my name for importing stuff in. And so I'll now be able to build endless other businesses or brands, I guess, for the products underneath it. And this is the overarching, and these all branch off of it. I hope that makes sense. But since that was now set up and I now have my company number, I was also able to go out and finish setting up my overseas bank account. So that all went smoothly. They gave me another call and we had another small interview. So I'm now able to pay all the people overseas, like suppliers in China or Amazon in America, in their local currency without having that huge fee from doing it in your local bank in Australia. So a lot of the times they can charge you a huge percentage, which can, if you're paying these big amounts like we're gonna be, it can be, several $100s. So this way these guys will take the funds and exchange it, and they charge a much lower fee than pretty much every other bank that I was able to find. So the company I'm using for that is called OFX. If you just look them up, they've been really great and really easy to get it set up. And so now we're all clean to go and start paying all these other people overseas. So this also meant that I was able to go and finalize my Amazon sellers account. So I'm now officially a seller on Amazon, I guess. Even though I haven't got anything listed or I'm not actually selling anything, I'm now able to go and list any item that I want to. So that was awesome. That's all set up. I'm gonna, in today's video, gonna have a play around with that and do some sort of dummy listings and that, so that I can get the gist of everything that goes on in there. Because the giant e-commerce business that Amazon is, we're now a tiny little blimp in it. So we have to try and figure it out to work with them, because they won't hesitate to cut you out if you don't understand it. So it's a bit overwhelming, I guess, because there's so much to learn, but that's what it's all about. It's not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to try and explain that a bit for you guys. So, I find if you're teaching something to someone else, it helps you understand it a bit more. So hopefully I'll be able to explain that well enough today as well. And then hopefully to finish up this vlog, I'm going to start looking for some product ideas and some different categories and niches that might be, viable areas to go into. And I'm going to share with you guys some of the different strategies and ideas and that I use to try and think of ideas, because it's such a vast area to look through. So it's some different ways that I like to narrow down what I look at and how to, cross things out, that's not a good idea and that one could work, and how to double check it. And then we're going to look at some possible supplies and stuff, hopefully at the end of the video as well, and share how we can do that. So I reckon let's just get started. Alrighty, sorry, I just had to go get changed super quick because it is so goddamn hot in my house. But something I forgot to mention just before was I'm a big believer in that in almost anything that you do, if you want to do it really well, it's really hard to do it all by yourself. So I really love, going out and getting to build a team and surrounding yourself with really good people. So something that I've also been able to go out and do is join a mastermind, which is a group of people who are very like-minded and are, striving to achieve the same sort of things as you. So I'll be able to do a separate video on, what you should look for and how to find these other people as well to create your own mastermind. But just in super generally, we go out every 2 weeks to a certain place. It's usually someone in the group's house. We meet up and we discuss what we've accomplished since the last meeting, what our goals are. If we need anyone's opinions on like a product we're designing or something, we can go there and ask that. And just, that way we've got true, honest advice from people who are doing the same sort of thing as you and, have the knowledge that you're seeking the advice from. So it's something that I think is really important, and it's one of the few things that can really accelerate you on that path to where you're wanting to go. So it was just something interesting I thought I'd add in there. But yeah, I'll do a separate video on that to really flesh it out for you guys. But let's check out some product design stuff now, and we're gonna head back over to my desk. Alrighty guys, so we're going to go over now super quickly some different strategies and ideas that I use that when I'm going into my computer and looking for these different niches and different product ideas and what sort of things I should be developing and what areas I should stay away from. And so I'm going to go over a couple of those strategies for you guys, but the main things that I like to sort of focus on is being really clinical and narrowed down when we're looking for these areas. So we're trying to find these specific niches, and in some cases, there's niches within niches. For example, if you were looking at maybe like spatulas, like looking at doing a spatula set, within spatulas there's your really basic cheap one, then there's your eco-friendly one, and your really heavy-duty one for your professional chefs. So you see how there's these specific niches within. So we're going to really try and dive in and explore these different areas so that we get the really wide range of what it is that we're looking for. But the main thing that we're looking for is these areas with products that are making a lot of money, but they're all really similar, or they're all the same, and no one's really come in yet and been imaginative or innovated on the product itself. So we're trying to look for these areas so that we can come in with a new design or a new method to use the product that just takes the area by storm. So I personally have a software that I pay for, which I'm pretty sure I spoke about in the last video, called ZonGuru. I'll leave a link for it in the description, but it pulls all the data out of the Amazon listings so I can see how much each listing is making per month, how many sales they're making, and how much money it would take for me to get started into that category as well. And it gives you a heap of other stuff, like an overall rating of that niche that you want to go into, so to let you know whether it's a good idea for you to go into it straight away, so you're not wasting a lot of time on that sort of thing, which I personally think is really helpful, so we can just power through lots of different ideas. So I'm going to jump into my computer now and start some brainstorming and product research, but while that's happening, I'm going to go through a couple different ideas and strategies for you guys just to get started and find that general scope of what different product area you want to go into. Because when you're first thinking of your ideas, it can be really overwhelming and you can get really stuck down in where you want to start. Because I'm pretty sure now there's over 350 million different products being sold on Amazon, which is crazy to think about that number, because it is just this e-commerce giant. So it can be really overwhelming, but hopefully with these couple of strategies, it'll be a good way for you just to get started. And I generally find that once you get started, it's a bit of a rabbit hole, and you just start to fall down, go this way and that way, and you just get carried away, and it's a lot easier once you can get past that first hurdle. So I always find it helps to write them down, but I hope that you guys find at least some help in at least one of these. So the first thing that I always like to do is I will name at least 2 of my different passions or hobbies, which for me is sport or specifically volleyball, and I'll just write down 5 products that I can think of, or 5 items that are involved within that sport or that topic. And I'll do that for a couple of things, like another one for me is superheroes or comics. I'm a bit of a gamer boy, but I'll go through and list a couple of products or a couple of gift ideas that I've had in the past, sort of go along with that. And you just list them down. It doesn't matter whether they're good or they're not. I just like to get them down so I can go back to them later. The second thing that I then go on to do is I just walk around my house and I just list 20 items that I can see around me. It doesn't matter how big they are, how small they are. I just like to go around, whiteboard marker, Rubik's Cube, frying pan, chef's knife, breadboard, anything. Just you see it, you write it down till I get to 20, and then I've got 20 things that I can immediately go in and check. You might then go in and check one of these and they're a horrible idea, but while you've looked for that listing, something else has come up that's been absolutely fantastic, and that could lead on to finding a winning product. The next thing I'll do is when I go to my workplace, I'll get a little pad of paper, So when I've got breaks in between work, I can write down another 20 different things that I can see in there. So you know, like where I work, I can see scanners, floor mats, bag racks, printers, bins, conveyor belts, name tags, you know, the list just goes on, and it's such a wide range of things that then will expand your search radius, I guess. Another thing, you know, you can say what's in your handbag or what's in your backpack at this moment, pull it out, you're always going to have lots of random things in there that might help you get you on your way. And then finally, for the moment, you know, these beginner ones is, I always like to list what are the things you always pack in your suitcase when you travel. So, you know, like your travel toiletries, travel toothbrush, a little bag to put them in, little liquid stuff, all that kind of stuff, like your special zip-on wallets, or when you're traveling overseas, all that kind of stuff is things that might lead you down the path of where you can get started. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and I've got a nice long list of things that I'm going to start looking into now, and hopefully, you know, I'll be able to fall down that rabbit hole and find some different areas that look like they're a winning product for me. With that tool, I said the Zonguru tool, I've been able to look at, you know, the good areas that are making a lot of money, and hopefully I can come up with an idea to sort of slip in there. But now that we've got a couple of ideas as well, I'm going to show you here on my screen. We're going to try and find some places where we can find some suppliers overseas who make these products, so we can sort of see how much we can buy them for and work out the margin that we could make when we're reselling them on Amazon. It's also a great place to go to find ideas as well, I find. As you see here, they've got huge categories that you can go into any of these, and lots of the subcategories as well. And you can just go through, like I said, it's a huge rabbit hole. Look, let's just go electrical supplies. So you go on here, and there's just, once it loads, slow internet. All right, come on. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, and as you can see, you can just scroll through here. A lot of the pictures aren't going to load, but there's heaps of stuff that you can go on. You click on each one and they've got like another 10 to suggest. So there's just so many different things that you can go through. And as you saw back on that page, you know, there's just that many categories. But let's say, for example, we want to, products that we wanted, the spatula from before. Let's go back to the spatula. So we decided that the spatula niche was a really open space for us to go into, and we want to try and find out some different suppliers, maybe find some unique ideas on there that we can sort of go into. So as you can see, this is loading up, and there's a lot of different information on here. So this one right here is a silicon spatula set. So they make all 4 of those, you buy in the one set, and they're anywhere from $2.95 to $3.50 a set. And it's also got here your minimum order, which they say you have to buy 500 sets as your minimum, but that can sort of be negotiated, I believe. But that's something that we can talk about a bit later. So you can sort of scroll through here and look for different ideas as well. You know, like maybe there wasn't a red one, maybe your spatulas were just all plain black. Maybe you'll find a bamboo one on here, or like you look at that, you know, it's a completely different shape. So you're really trying to find something that will visually stand out from everything else, that people will, you know, they'll see it and they'll stop scrolling to go towards. Another great place that I find to find your different ideas, so sticking with the spatula theme, if you go onto Pinterest, so say you load up Pinterest and you go cool spatulas or unique spatulas, and Pinterest is just, it's so easy to get stuck on Pinterest, but it'll load up all these different options and you can scroll through. And if you find something that you think is really cool, like, oh, this square shaped spatula with a wooden handle, that looks really cool, I think that'd sell well, you then go back onto Amazon and you can search it up and see if anyone else is selling it. Because if no one is selling it, then maybe you've got an idea that you can take from Pinterest and find someone on Alibaba who can make it for you, and then take that onto Amazon. So you can see how these processes sort of all link together, where you can find something that from one and take it to the other, or find something completely new that you've designed and take it there as well. If you guys want like a more in-depth video on deciding on that niche and finding your products, make sure you just let me know in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to make that video where I go out to the different places or really go into detail the different strategies that I've got, if you think that that would help you guys more. So to finish the video off, guys, I'm going to start going off these ideas that I've got now, and I'm going to go out and approach a sourcing agent who is somebody who is overseas, and I will tell them the different ideas that I've got. And because they're already over there and speak the language of the country, they're going to go out and speak to these manufacturers on my behalf. And the idea is that they'll be able to negotiate a better price for the products that I want manufactured, because they're locals, and they speak the language. So they're going to go out and source these different manufacturers for me, and then bring me back like 5 or 10 different ones for me to choose from. And hopefully, for the next video, we'll have some samples sent in on some different tester products that I'll be able to show you guys. And I'm also going to go about setting up my website for that company that I got registered now. I've had a bit of experience in the past, luckily, with setting up websites. But if it's something that you don't know or you don't have time to learn, you can very easily just go and hire someone to do it for you. Next video, I think I'm going to really go into depth about how you can hire different people, like how I hired the sourcing agent, and where you can find almost anyone to do any job for you at all. So that's going to be in the next video. Hopefully samples, website done, and hopefully we're going to go into like naming our brand and getting our logo design and all the stuff like that. But thanks as always for watching the video. I hope you guys got some value from it at all, and if you've got any questions of any sort, please leave them in the comments below, because I'm always more than happy to help in any way that I can. But thank you very much again, and I'm going to see you guys in the next vlog. Catches.